Привет всем! Welcome to this review of the JLTV from Ryfield Models and a little bit of extras. Okay, JLTV, what does that mean? Joint Light Tactical Vehicle. This is the replacement for the Hummer in the US Army and some other forces, I think. These we'll look at later. 3 kits have come out already from Ryfield's model, the one I've got obviously, Sabre models, and there's another one from I Love Kit, Stroke Trumpeter. I think they're all very good kits. I chose this one for certain reasons. I'll explain that in a second. Let's see what's inside the box. Actually, just show you very quickly. A little bit of build up on here. And also, this is kind of important. I'll come back to that in a second, okay? Really nice box art. What we got inside, okay? Book. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, water stickers, PE. There we go, that's the box contents. Let's have a look in details. We'll start with the instructions. Oh, and this little bit that fell out before. We've got a nice paper booklet in colour, dated 2021. This model's just come out 2023. Anyways, usual stuff, nice bit of box art stuff yet again. The map of all the sprues and all the parts, what's inside the box, so you can check against what you have inside your box. Start with the construction of cab details. Yeah, I would say this is like intermediate advanced kit because there's quite a lot of PE inside here. Some people love it, some people loathe it. And also note the call outs as well for the water stickers here and there. Yeah. Oh, now it's got 2022 on here. Okay, interesting. Right. Okay, build up your cab. That takes, let's see, about 5 steps. Then you've got the actual detail that goes on inside the frame of the body as well. So there's bits and pieces going inside there. You can tell it's quite a detailed model straight from the outset. Step 6, the cab gets all joined together. Glazing goes on. Then we start on the suspension. So different way of doing things, doesn't really matter, does it? You have to sort of choose what's best for you. Okay, here's a bit of a gimmick. If you want to make yourself steerable suspension, you can melt pins together. I just don't go in for stuff like that. Pose it the way you want it and then set it in cement. These things aren't toys, they're scale models. When you've got features like that, they just tend to lead to stuff breaking. My opinion, maybe not others, not necessarily, okay? Nice bit of grill detail down there. I like the way they call everything out. They show stuff in colour, but let me just go back a second. There's no actual call outs at all. There's no paint call outs whatsoever inside here. So, what do you need to do? You need to do some research, yeah? There's not one single paint reference inside here. And it gets worse. Let me expand on that in a second. Okay. Anyways, all this sort of stuff gets joined together. That's the bonnet hood, depending which side of the pond you're on. Detail the transparent parts, the lights, etc. going on there. You've got an option here. With the cargo bed, you can put something in the back. I have no idea what that is, big box. Or you can put the tarpaulin on top, obviously. I think, well, we'll have a look at the parts, but I think this would be my preference, to have it open and you can put whatever you want inside there. But it's good that it's got some stuff, you know, that you've got that option. Step 17, we're basically nearly done, aren't we? About halfway through the book. But this is the main construction point, yeah? The rear load bed, the passenger compartment joined together onto the chassis, and then some other further details going on. Yeah, these steps now, we're doing a little bit more detailing. That looks like the exhaust being joined on by that step. And this is underbody V-armour. It's an M-wrap. I love M-wraps. The doors look like suitably thick. They're multi-part pieces, so you should have detail on the outside face and on the interior face. allowing you to pulls the doors open. By this step, this is what you should look at. Hey, look, they've got suicide doors. I kind of like that. Shows you actually the detail of what you need to do in order to change the hinges in order to depict them opened. This is one of the reasons I got this kit, because it's got the winch included, and also it's got the Oshkosh logo on that PE part. I know it's trivial, but you know, that's the sort of guy I am. I like these sort of details. In terms of armament, we've got the Mardeus 50 caliber machine gun, made out of quite a few components there. Looks kind of nice and detailed. Got a gunner's shield. Points to note, this is the open style of cupola, if that's what you want to call it. Yeah, the other two, the Sabre and the I Love kit, they've got a roof on top of them. You've got quite a lot of IED type aerials, radio antennas on here, nice PE details for the side steps. That's pretty cool. You've got the actual aerial supplied in plastic. This looks really well detailed here, PE parts, etc. So the last few steps, we're talking about details. And finally, right here, these are, I gather, the patterns for the glazing in order for you to make your own masks. There aren't any masks provided. What's missing? Well, I've already stated it. There's no colour call-out whatsoever, including the camo pattern of the vehicle. They've entirely missed that out. So what do you need to do? If I were you, probably what I'm going to do, I'll search references, but also I think I'll go online and probably download the instructions from I Love Kit and Sabre models, yeah? But kind of weird, you know, that's missing out. And that actually impinges on the water stickers. I'll show you the water stickers in a minute, and like obviously a lot of them are interior, but the exterior we just don't know where they go. Let's have a look at the parts in detail now. Okay, as usual when I do these reviews, I will show you the sprues and then we'll go into macro to show you the detail. It's got 2 off sprue C. Hey, look at that, they've got the real interesting like cut out version of the C, so it's probably, is it a little bit easier to see? Well, whatever anyways. But there we are. On here, suspension components, loads of them, yeah, lots of small parts. If you're not into small parts, you won't like this model. If you love detail like me, you will love this model. Let's just zoom in on that detail. I think we'll come back to this as well, because we can compare it with the aftermarket stuff. There we are, nice and zoomed in, so you can see all that nice bolt detail on there. Looks absolutely great. A part there, I don't know where it is, but it looks really nicely detailed. Note the linkages, part of the suspension. They've got all the lightning holes in them. The shockers look suitably in scale, like the strut, etc. Nice little bit of detail there for the rubber surrounds, protective surrounds. Let's have a look at those seats. That's part of the seats there. Move on to some of the sprues now. Sprue D. So I'm just doing these in random order. Don't worry about it. Just want to show you basically how many parts are involved. I think we're in the order of magnitude of maybe 300, 400, 500, I don't know, quite a few anyways. Let's get into the macro again. Let's have a look if there's any of these nasty little injector marks to deal with. Okay, so this is the armor portion of that cupola or gunner's position, whatever you want to call it. Great detail around the framing there for the armored glass. There are they called Duke IED antennas? That antenna looks really nice, in scale, usable, and so does that big whip aerial there. These look really usable. Usually they're too thick and you replace them with wire or carbon fiber rod. The 50 cal is a slide molded part there with all details, so you don't even need to replace that. You know, the barrel, even the barrel's hollowed out. The 50 cal barrel's hollowed out. Wow, what great detailing there. Let's have a look, see if there's any ejector pin marks on the other face of the armoured gunner's position. No, there isn't, so that's great news. Don't need to deal with anything there. And also, even on the hatch as well, so great news. Big sprue A with the doors, cabin, and dash. So let's zoom into that one. I'll just show you quickly overall view. Oh nice, the big parts. And in macro we'll start off with these doors with all the bolt detailing. Yeah, I really love these M-wraps, and in particular these US M-wraps as well. They've got such nice detail for painting on. Here's some of the interior components, you know, like the they're all GPS, computerized, you know, modern digital battlefield stuff. So these vehicles are very well kitted out with electronics, etc. So we've got the driver's cluster there, and also a screen there. It looks really good. There's a steering wheel, part of the air cleaner assembly there. Here is part of the armored glass. I believe this is the front screen. Yes, it is. And it's got all the right, it looks good to me. It looks like it's got all the correct facets to it. Can't speak for the actual accuracy of this kit. Anyways, it looks right to me. Here are the mirrors. Again, everything looks like nicely in scale. Usually on these, they're made out of a few components, but thankfully, these are just one part. Even the wipers look pretty good. I think I can use them. They don't need to be replaced or scratch made. Let's have a look on the other side. We've got some of these big, like, knockout things. Don't worry about them. Just trim them off. Make sure when you're doing the construction that you trim them off. That's all you need to worry about. And sprue B, which has a lot of the suspension components. And these look absolutely fantastic. They're the brakes, parts of the detail for that rear, that load bed, other suspension components, lots and lots of stuff. Look at this, this is really fine. Let's jump in the macro right away. Real highlight part, look at the detail. They have not spared any expense here when it's come to the detailing of these parts, which are obviously suspension. They must have had quite a lot of information, I'm guessing, in order to detail it like such. This part looks really particularly delicate. It's part of the frame that makes up that rear load bed. You have to be very careful when removing it off the sprue. If you want to join me on Patreon, I'll show you exactly how to do it without damaging the parts. It's really straightforward. And here is that big box thing that goes in the back. It is slide molded. So instead of like 4 or 5 parts making up a box, they've decided to slide mold it. And this part here as well, bit of slide molding on there. Yeah, they have not cut any corners, so it appears. Look at the suspension components again. All the spring shockers look really, really good. Okay, final sort of sprue, except for the transparency, sprue E. We've got the underbody armour, so this is the mine deflection plate, yeah, basically the belly armour, and it's one piece, which is really great, and also even better, a one-piece hood bonnet, depending where you come from, slide molded, so you've got all the detail there, including the side markers, if I can show them to you. Oh, there's only one side marker. It must be a night light, because on that side it is not mirrored. And that looks really good. And a hatch as well. So, and there is the exhaust. Have they hollowed out the exhaust? Well, yeah, they have actually. Wow, great work, Ryefields model. Clear parts. I don't think I'll open this up. They have not used any smoked glass or anything like that. I don't know. I'm going to check to see how does it really look. Is it really transparent? Is it got a smoked effect? Does it look green? I don't know. I need to have a look on JLTVs. Send me some comments. Have you ever driven a JLTV? If so, let me know. Anyways, the armoured glass is, these portions here are thick, yeah, like they should be, like armoured glass. Yeah, these ones are not, and I'm surprised about that because they also would be quite thick, because I would imagine that it's armoured glass all around. Anyways, these look really good. These are like the LED style lighting. So that's the clear parts, look pretty nice. We'll match them up during the build process with the mask patterns and see if it works out. Here's the PE fret, which might put people off, to be honest. I hope not. I love stuff like that. Well, I don't love PE, but I love like all this nice detailing here, especially to get the grill that's actually perforated, etc. And okay, you do need to use these parts in order to build the kit, but maybe you can just use the bigger ones and avoid maybe the very smaller ones. I'm not too sure. I would discourage that. Get the experience of building it. Build all the PE, learn how to do it, and then you get a really, really satisfying build experience. Here are the water stickers. There's a lot of them, yeah. Let me open that up and show you what it looks like. Okay, so here's the water stickers, and they have got certain, like, I gather these are vehicle identification plates. Also, you've got individual numbering, so maybe you can number your own vehicle. And then a lot of this is for the touch screens, the fire extinguishers, and the details inside there. So it's going to be a process of elimination, basically, with the water stickers. A little bit disappointing as well. You know, I mean, you've got these call-outs here, no step, lift, lift, lift. Hopefully they appear on other manufacturers' instruction sheets, which is probably what I'm going to go and have a look at immediately when I start building this kit. Okay, I've just unbagged the hero parts, as I like to call them, you know, the larger slide molded components. This is the reason I chose the Ryefields model, yeah? The Sabre model's cab is made out of, like, like a traditional flat pack to make up the cab. The I Love kit JLTV also has a cab that's in one piece like this. And then for me, I thought, what do I want? I want a one-piece cab just because it's easier basically to build, and also I wanted the winch on the front, so that's why I chose the Ryefield models version. I bet the other kits are absolutely awesome as well. Don't have any critique towards them, but other people have said that the JLTV from I Love Kit is a really nice, easy build, and this one might be a little bit more complex. Here is the canvas. If you want to do the load bed covered, it is pretty good. You know, it's not bad at all. Nice representation of fabric, you know, with a bit of stress marks and bits and pieces like that. Not bad, you know, at least they provided. You've got the option. This is part, you wonder why this part is separate, don't you? But this is part of the rear load bed, I believe. And finally, the rear load bed itself, with all that awesome detail molded on. Fantastic. They've got all the little plugs and outlets for when it's towing anything. The actual cargo bed itself looks superb. Just a few more pieces to show you. Okay, we've got the wheels themselves. They're like a rubbery vinyl material. We'll have a look at them in detail in a second. And also polycaps to hold the wheels on, I gather. I think that's where they're used. Now I'm going to show you the aftermarket stuff. We can lay them side by side, compare the wheels. Okay, let's just open this up. And this is what we get. We've got the 3D prints themselves. Here they are. Notice this, right? Okay, this is what you get. You get 4 wheels, 3D printed, exactly the same, but they couldn't give you the spare. So what do you have to use for the spare? You need to use a supplied rubber stuff, yeah? So let's put them side by side and compare them. Okay, we get a macro, nice and close, show you the detail. Obviously, with the advantage of 3D printed resin wheels. Why did I get them? I like them because you haven't got a bead effect with the join between the wheel to the tire, and also I just love the detail. I mean, but look how awesome these ones are. These are really, really good. And obviously I need to use one of them with the spare, and I'm thinking now, I mean, look at the tread pattern. The tread pattern is absolutely awesome. It really, there's very little between them in terms of detailing, yeah? One of the advantages, massive advantages of this 3D printing over the resin is these are really light. Now, usually when you've got heavy molded resin wheels, that's quite a bit of strain on the vehicle. I know it doesn't sound much, but we've got 4 big pieces of resin like holding up the axles. Sometimes they snap the axles when you lift the thing. I'm not joking, it does happen. But with these are really light, and that is a big advantage, okay? These are actually, what does it say, A and B, so I gather a front and a rear. There might be some difference, or to get the tread pattern, I'm not too sure. I'll check to see what it says. But actually, I'm probably a bit more impressed with the supplied, you know? These look really good, and we already saw the bolt pattern on the plastic parts that make up the wheel. So probably could have done without these, but I've got them. I'm able to show them to you. And anyways, I think that's about it. One more part to show you that I nearly forgot about. Okay, this is not an extra. This is supplied, and it's part of their marketing as well. you know, the marketing was it's supplied with 3D printed parts. So inside the kit, every single kit, you get this, which I think is some sort of maybe warning receiver. Anyways, it mounts to the front of the cab. Let me just sort of show you in the box. Hold on a second. Just drag this across here. It is this component there, yeah? Now, this could be done in plastic easily, and wouldn't it have been better if they gave us a 3D printed radio or something cool like that? But anyways, you know, that's the way stuff's headed. There is a further upgrade kit. You can get a full PE set to match this, but I didn't see any point in doing the PE, and I'm sort of glad that I didn't get it, because the plastic parts look awesome anyways. So anyways, that is the review. I will be building this kit eventually, probably this year. Hope it's of use to you, and see you guys real soon.